in our series, You Can Be the Change, and in our series, Family and Beyond, in that, we have with us today Nilesh and Shilpa, who are joining us from the East Coast of the United States. They'll be sharing us the mantra behind being fit at 50. So Nilesh would be, of course, sharing that, and me and Shilpa probably would be learning a lot from him about how to stay fit at 50. Thank you so much and welcome to our podcast. And I also, along with me, have Mimansa, who generously just said that she would want to learn and listen from. Of course, she's very far off from being 50, but she just wanted to learn and see what all we can just take into our lifestyle. So thank you so much for being part of our podcast. And we are very excited to hear from you guys more about your lifestyle as well as more about you. So over to you. Why don't you share about what you do? How do you stay so fit at 50?
You want to start? Or?
You go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like staying fit at 50, but it's all about like prioritizing your health over like your daily like routine stuff, right? Um, eating eating healthy, of course. Like once you turn 50, like it, your body doesn't work the same way it used to, right? Your digestion system changes, and so like not just on the 50, I think you kind of have to start little early, but focus on health, focus on prioritization of some of the things I always do is like walking, right? So after every lunch or dinner, like you make sure like this is just the bare minimum. Like you want to walk at least 30 minutes, right? Although they say 10,000 steps, so like if you cannot do that, like at least have to do that 30 minutes walk right after meal. We cut down a lot on like kind of stuff we eat. We still enjoy food, but it's not like daily basis, right? Like of course cut down on a lot of greasy food. Breakfast, आजकल हम लोग we just eat oats normally, like at least 5 days a week, right? Like lunchtime, mostly just salad, and then we have like a good food dinner. But again, prioritization is probably the key because everybody gets stuck in the routine.
So how do you manage your food cravings? Matlab being an Indian and being a foodie, right? Matlab Gujaratis and UP wale, we love food. Food is like we don't eat to live, we live to eat. So how do you manage that craving, knowing that you have to maintain healthy lifestyle as well?
I mean, Shilpa can say more about this, but I mean, we still enjoy food, right? Like, we still enjoy food, like even on the weekends. I mean, even just now we had like really nice dinner. That's something we crave, right? But I think definitely we have cut down on the quantity, right? Amount of food, like it doesn't matter, right? Like, so the quantity is something that we don't like,
Think like portion control.
portion control. Also, in most cases, we're not gonna have like, like the buffet, like 10 items, but maybe cut down and, and try different items every day or every weekend, right? So that's another thing, like, but we still enjoy food a lot.
So actually, to your right question, हम लोग खाते सब कुछ है, ऐसा नहीं कि ये नहीं खाते वो नहीं खाते, सब कुछ है, but like we in weekdays we try to eat. ऐसे नहीं कि हम लोग भूखे रहते हैं, सब 4 मील दिन में खाते हैं. हेल्थी 3 if you are eating 4 meals in a day, तो ऐसा ट्राई करते हैं कि हेल्दी रहे, जिसमें बहुत ज्यादा ऑयल ना. अच्छे से हम लोग इंडियन फुल डिश एंजॉय करते हैं चाय के साथ, हल्का फुल्का नाश्ता भी, ऐसा कि मिठाई नहीं खाते और सब खाते हैं, बट एज आई सेड अच्छे से खा लो, 2 बार थोड़ा फिर ध्यान भी. दैट्स हाउ एक्चुअली वी आर ट्राइंग टू मैनेज. एंड फिर ऑफ कोर्स वो 1 घंटा दिन में, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. Tell me one thing. Go ahead, Mimansa. You were saying.
No, I was just saying that Masi is an amazing cook, so it's very hard to resist. I always tell Mitsu, like, it was so good to be in Jersey because whenever we visit each other, we always tried new cuisines. So like ये नहीं कि always tried new things. So like मासी के साथ हमने वही बहुत सीखा. And she's तो a lot of dish I learned from her because मासी यहाँ पे थे and I just came in. So definitely hard to resist. So I think portion control or exercise से
Portion control and exercise. Even Imansha herself is a good cook.
Oh yeah, of course. I've
Yeah.
tried a lot of her dishes like actually
Yeah.
last evening itself. So yeah. So tell me one thing. आजकल there's such a big hue and cry about diets, right? कभी paleo आ जाता है, कभी keto आ जाता है, कभी कुछ आ जाता है. So how big you are a supporter of these diet plans, or you feel diets are like short-lived? It is more of your, as you said, it's the lifestyle change in doing the portion control that plays a big role. So आप लोग भी करते हो कोई diet शायद like about these things?
So I'll take this question. Actually, I would say yes and no. I have tried in my life one time diet, but that didn't work so well. Soon as I stopped that diet, right, I gained whatever I lost.
Yeah.
So consistency is the main thing, right? Every day you have to be consistent. At least out of 7 days, 6 days, you try your best to keep, your diet normal and then exercise once in a week. Everybody gets to deserves to a cheat day kind of a thing and enjoy, and not even one day you also rest out of your other activities that you are doing 6 days of. Even I did once in a week, I don't go for walk, I just rest, but out other 6 days I stay consistent. So consistency is the key.
Okay, yeah.
So that's yeah.
So as you said, like of course, consistency is the key where you, of course, you have to maintain that. Then the other thing is, after 40, we start seeing our hormonal balances start degrading. Our life, I mean, the activeness in our life also starts degrading because there are a lot of changes that are happening, especially in women as well. So, what do you do to manage and kind of keep yourself motivated कि नहीं आज, like मैं अगर अपना एग्जांपल दूं, and I think Mimamsa is the witness to it, is कि जिम जाने की कोशिश है, but then every day you have to push yourself कि
Yeah.
चलना है, right? So what do you do कि आप वो एनर्जी लेवल आप अपना हाई रखते हो कि वॉक भी करना है, एंड लाइक बिकॉज 40 प्लस के बाद तो वैसे ही मन करता है कि बस रेस्ट करो घर में, तो हाउ डू यू डू दैट?
Yeah, so for that, I think everybody should find things they like. It could be, dancing or walking or biking. मेरे को walk बहुत पसंद है. And then also one should, find a company. तो मैं what works for me, तो मेरे पास ऐसे group of set of friend है, तो सबको walk पसंद है. तो हम लोग का time set है शाम का 5:30. Without messing with each other, we know कि 5:30 walk जाना है. घर से बाहर निकलते तो 1.5 घंटा रोज Monday to Saturday. So that keeps me going actually. And yeah, like I love walk and I also love dancing. So whenever we have family function, we all, try to do that as well. But that's not every day, but walking is my exercise.
Nilesh ji, for you as well, like you have a group where you do the walks and everything, like you do have a group of people with you?
Yeah, I think like as Shilpa said, right? Like I think it's always like having somebody else. Like, if you try to do alone, it's very difficult, right? To motivate. But now you make a commitment to someone, and then like now you're committed. So then you don't want to let them down. So yeah, I have like for walking, of course, I have groups like friends, but also I do like a lot of cycling, and I have like cycling groups that I go to, right? So like I was just playing pickleball, for example. So there's a pickleball group that I'm kind of part of, right? So you always find people who are kind of like-minded. So not only like you're kind of committed, but also like they will teach you, right? Like,
Forward, right?
like if you're doing something like walking is, yeah, kind of everybody knows, but like if you're playing sports or if you're like, doing something different, like, running or anything like that, it's like it's having that group always helps.
Yeah, I think Masa Masi is inspiration. I mean, at least for me, I always tell, like, if when you feel low, especially like physically, just watch Masa or just talk to them or just like, just talk to them. you'll feel so motivated. I always tell even Niket, like, just look at Masa and look at you. Like, you should, Masa, you don't need it, right? But still, like, we can be fit as you are when we turn 50, because what problems we are facing right now, I guess we are facing in 30s with our generation, and with your generation, it comes after 45. But with us, we have already started having issues and concerns. So definitely we have good inspiration with us.
Yeah,
I mean,
one reason we're doing this podcast with them, right? I mean, of course,
Yes.
some motivated me that you should talk to them. I mean, they are the inspiration, and but of course, rightly said so by Mimans. I mean, I can see why. You guys are such an inspiration for for Mimansa and the team, and of course now for us as well. So appreciate you sharing those details with us. And so just asking, ये तो आपका routine हुआ life lifestyle and all. आपके social commitments भी, right? And then you have work commitments as well. So how do you try to balance between work commitments with your own mental and physical health and your social commitments? How do you try to bring that balance between all three?
yeah, I mean, like, again, I think जैसे पहले बोला, like, we of course have parties and social commitment on the weekends. But again, going back to like two things, like one is, as I said in the very beginning, prioritization. Like, unless you prioritize this, right, like, you have to, like, again, prioritization is probably the key, right? Like,
Right.
you want to do this. If it doesn't work for you, change the environment. It's like, change your environment a little bit. So that would kind of help. But yeah, other thing, yeah, of course, we go to like social gatherings and keep foodie and eating and all that. But then, a lot of times then, before or after you kind of decide, okay, you're gonna skip skip the lunch or dinner or whatever next day. Another thing I want to do is kind of try to take a small plate instead of like a big plate, like and all those social gatherings, right? Because ultimately what goes in has to be right, like, it has to go somewhere, right? Either it's
Yeah.
gonna go as a fat or you burn it up.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing, right? But yeah, we have social gatherings, right? Like this weekend, like we are busy, so I'm gonna try out stuff doing like tomorrow, right? Like, I'm gonna go for cycling tomorrow instead of like Sunday, right?
Mhm.
So you just prioritize.
या मैं भी ऐसे ही करती हूँ, अगर पता है 6 बजे जाना है तो उसके पहले वॉक खत्म कर लो 1 घंटे का, तो आई डू प्रायोरिटाइज माय वॉक लाइक अकॉर्डिंग टू द social gathering time before or after, but I make sure I go for a walk. So
Right. So
yeah.
yeah. And I think
And
this
Masti is
is a good
very good at
example.
managing things. Like, I have seen her doing that. So the way she manages her schedule and her life, it's amazing. Like, I was in Pennsylvania for 4 years. So we used to meet every now and then. So I have, like, even I remember my mom saying, like, the way, like, sometimes I'm not as punctual or as scheduled or as. So she's like, you have a very good example. Like, you can no, I remember Masi, like mummy did tell me. So I know like how she schedules and how she plans out. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
हाँ मेरे हाँ वो आदत एक्चुअली बचपन आया तो एक अच्छी आदत है थैंक यू
No,
वो
yeah.
टू प्रायोरिटाइज ऑल द थिंग्स बिकॉज अपने को काम भी है प्लस कुकिंग भी है राइट और वॉक भी जाना है और यस यू डू हैव टू हैव अ शेड्यूल टू
Yeah.
फिट ऑल योर थिंग्स एंड इन अ डे
No, but this
वो
is
जरूरी है
another good example because at times people find an excuse to not go for a walk because saying, well, we have a social commitment to go out for, so आज हम skip कर देते हैं अपना walk या आज हम ये नहीं करते हैं, right? So it's a good example then that if you know it, then schedule your day accordingly and give equal importance to your physical health as equally you're giving importance to a social commitment or how you treat your work as well, right? I mean, work का
Exactly,
meeting
हाँ.
होता है तो we don't leave that, so why do you have to leave your walk, right? So
Yeah, your
that's
walk
really
or
good. Yeah.
yes And for that, I think one should find a partner like liking, जिनको अच्छी जैसी activity दूसरे को किसी को find that person or even you can find it her. So we can make it happen, right? TV देखोगे. Something which you other husband or wife likes to do together or friend के साथ किसी को अच्छा लगता है तो वो करने ज्यादा मजा आता है. And then you don't know how much you are doing. Sometimes हम लोग जैसे आज ही मैं 2 घंटे का walk 6 miles I just walked before dinner. Because my friend also actually enjoys it, so we enjoy it together. तो वो बहुत जरूरी है company.
Nice.
These days we have been working out together, me and Sugandha. I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
go ahead. You had something.
No. Just I was just saying that, like, you know what we said, that these days we have each other for keeping
Motivate.
like, how do you also balance and manage your mental health? Like, you know, we talked about physical health and everything, but like, how do you also manage your like thought process or the thinking throughout the day? Like, because physical health, of course, it's equally important, but at the same time, we also have to balance the mental health, like, you know, the right state of mind. So then, like, what goes behind that?
Yeah, very good question.
In particular that you are doing other than like the like, you know, staying positive, I would say.
Yeah, I actually not nothing. I mean in particular, but I think भगवान ने शायद ever कि मुझे meditation की जरूरत है. But I think this actually helps me. Walking helps me because हम लोग मिलते हैं ना 5-6 रोज जो भी बात करना है तो वो निकल जाए. Walking is I would say my meditation. तभी हमारा जो भी बात करना है निकल जाता है. कुछ अच्छी रेसिपी भी सीखो, कुछ अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट कोई अच्छे वेकेशन पे जाने तो that way I think it helps me a lot. And then बाकी का दिन तो मेरा ऐसे work and cooking and cleaning हमको जो web series or movie they wind up your day, so that also helps. Music, you can listen to music whenever you feel something. So whenever I walk alone, I try to listen some good music.
Yeah.
We
But I
also
think-
like try
yeah,
to
go
keep the
ahead.
life very simple actually.
Yeah.
Like we keep life very simple, like for example, I mean, not that there's anything bad or wrong with it, but we like hardly watch any news, right? Like, right.
Yeah.
So, like we hardly get involved or think about a lot of those like things that we cannot control or things that we don't have any like, input on, right? Like, so we try to stay away. Another thing is, of course, like this is probably more like from our Jainism and all that, but like, like possessions and all that stuff, we have relatively again, right? Like, we try to keep stuff simple because after some time, right? Like I jokingly say, right? Like those things make you work more than the things themselves come help for
Yeah.
you. So that's another thing we just and also like stay with people who are positive, right? So always find a company again who are more positive towards life than like complaining or just always negative about stuff, right? So surround yourself with people who are like looking forward rather than just thinking about like like world is gonna end or whatever.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, your surroundings actually can lead to your mental health, kind of keep you positive or keep you, add to your anxiety, right? So that's a very good valid point. And I think one point also that I liked about Shilpa that you mentioned was that, at times you find something which is common between you and Nilesh. So I think today's complaint about the couples that they are not getting enough time with each other. So I think while you're trying to stay healthy, you're trying to find that time as well where you guys can enjoy something very common, but also have that company of each other and have that time for each other as well. But I think so that's like not just staying fit, but also having that time spent with your better half, which you're not able to spend otherwise. Yeah, right.
I think after 50 you're gonna get a lot of time.
And take care of your mental health actually because
Yeah.
it's take care of take care of mental health, right?
Yeah, no, so true, right? So true, right? I mean, झगड़े कम होंगे. So this is good. So I know, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your mantra for staying fit. And of course, there's so much that we are taking back from you guys here. But as a last parting note, if you would want to share 2, 3 points for the people who will be watching it, what are the 2, 3 bigger mantras that we should follow in our lives?
For me, I mean, I can, at least for me, it's again, I just said earlier, like keep it simple. I think you talked about like diet stuff earlier, right? Like we don't follow the fad, right? Because fad are just there for time being, right? So that's another, right? Prioritization. Again, as I said, right? Like health, family, staying with the family also is gonna be a great with the mental health, right? So yeah, and everything is possible, right? Like anything new you're gonna do, it's gonna hurt, like in a physical time, right? Like it's gonna hurt a little bit in the initially, but you just have to get over that hurdle, right? First you walk 2 miles, maybe it's gonna hurt, then do 2.5, 3, 5, right? She walks like 10 miles, 7, 8 miles. When we go hiking, we do like 10, 15 miles. And, so you gotta start, you just have to build up. You're not gonna get the results on day 1 or day 2 or day 5, right? It's a journey, and you just have to also enjoy the journey.
Absolutely, find something that you love, like, that would be one mantra, I would say, and consistency and priority. That 3 things I would like to give it away for the people who will listen this.
Yeah.
So much for having us as well.
Well, thank you so much for your time and really appreciate it. And wishing you all the best. Of course, now we are doing Fit at 50. We would be doing a Fit at 70 as well with you guys. But thank you so much. And thanks, Mimansa, for adding in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.